Hi, welcome to Binalyzer feature highlight. My name is Enriched, and today I'll be demonstrating the timelining feature of Binalyzer, and then we'll enrich this timeline using a CSV file. Before we start, I'm sure you can name a bunch of solutions that can create a timeline, starting from the traditional forensic solutions to open source command line utilities. These are all great, but if the clock is ticking, you need something much faster and easier to use. That was the motivation behind creating the timeline feature. Before we demonstrate the enrichment with the CSV file, let's create a new timeline by clicking this new timeline button. Here we'll be providing a unique name for this investigation. You can select the time zone, so all the events that will be collected from these endpoints will be normalized to this time zone. And the third step, we'll be selecting a number of endpoints from here, and clicking create will immediately assign a task to these endpoints, and all the relevant events will be collected from the endpoints and then will be imported into a unified timeline. In around 3 to 5 minutes, we'll have a timeline similar to this one. The great thing about timeline feature is it's collaborative, so multiple investigators can work on the same timeline simultaneously, and whenever they flag an event, it will be immediately visible to the other investigators. And all the flagged events will be listed here in the flagged section. This especially proves useful when it comes to the reporting phase. If you'd like to further enrich this timeline by adding other endpoints, you can easily do that by clicking this endpoint button here, and then you can select the other endpoints from the list. With the latest version of AIR, we have extended this capability by adding support for custom CSV files. So let's enrich this timeline using a CSV file. In just 4 steps, we'll be adding a CSV file and import the events from this CSV file into the timeline. For the demonstration purposes, we'll be using a master file table, and we'll be giving it a name. In this first stage, AIR shows us a preview of the file format. So when you click next, all we need to do is we'll be providing a mapping between the columns of the CSV to the timeline event properties. If the CSV in question has an event type, as an example, if it's a firewall log, then it may have some event types such as connection opened, connection closed. But in this case, we don't have that, so that will be simply writing some custom event type. And in the datetime property, we want the change datetime to be visible. And here we see some sample values from the CSV file. And as the title of the events, we'll be using the name. If the CSV in question has a device name column, then you can choose it from here, or you can manually provide it by giving it a specific device name. Again, if the file has a username, you can select it from here, or you can skip. So these are the information that will be immediately visible for every imported event from the CSV file. If you like to attach multiple other data properties to all the imported events, you can select them from here. In the next step, optionally, you can filter your data by either importing all the records, or you can filter by date by providing a start date and end date, or you can do the same for first number of records and last number of records. For the demonstration, let's import all of them. Clicking next will show you a final preview of how the events will look like when they're imported into the timeline. So as you see, we have a date, a device name that was provided by us, and the title, and here we have the additional data that was selected in the data property. Clicking import will start processing this CSV file in your browser, and when the import process completes, just by simply clicking this button, you can go to the timeline and start investigating the enriched timeline. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.